The world has gone crazy. Here in Canada, we've got the Edmonton police now saying that they're going to be policing hurt feelings and jailing you because you hurt somebody's very, very sensitive skin. This is the world that we're living in. We're going to break it down. We're going to get into it. This is Unscrew the News and Bruce Scholl. And like I said, I'm very excited to be here. What an extraordinary time to be alive. This is, August 4th, 2026. And like I said, I'm going to bring on JJ Carrell. JJ Carrell, a Border Patrol agent down in the San Diego area, 24 years on the border. And most recently went back and had a stint with ICE. He's he's got books, he's got podcasts, and we're also going to talk about his newest venture, which is a new YouTube channel called Agent Carrell, where he breaks down and gives us a real upfront, it's the body camera footage of arrests in the United States. As far as I know. Maybe it's going to expand, but very interesting. I've had a chance to go through it, and we're going to get into it here. But I want to welcome JJ Carrell, my friend, and the, like I said, ex-Border Patrol agent, and now the JJ Carrell, or Agent Carrell, sorry, YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining me. You're now a celebrity. I'm looking forward to
Come on, Bruce. That's enough.
Oh man, that was fun. I had a chance to go through that, but just for the audience, if you don't, hang on one second. Where did you go? I lost you there for a second.
There I
am. Do you mind just telling the audience what you've been up to since the last time we talked? You went to ICE. You couldn't talk about it. Now you're back, and I'm hoping that we can sort of dissect what's going on down that way.
Well, first, thanks for having me back on, man. I love our discussion. I love how you give me a broad plane to go ahead and say what I believe and feel. So thank you very much. I went back to ICE. President Trump asked for Border Patrol agents, retired Border Patrol agents, retired ICE officers to go back, and I did. I went 3 to 4 ranks below where I was, which was, I always try to think that it's not going to be that effect on me, but it does. I went on the fugitive operations team for almost about 6 to 9 months-ish. And then the federal government, the rehires are very different than the career. Like my career in the Border Patrol, there were things that I was never allowed to do, but you rehired me from a life where I did books and documentaries and podcasts, and that ultimately was discovered, and they told me, you got to leave. So I was the National Employee of the Week, and then the next Monday I was told, we don't need you. And I went, okay. And I remember telling my wife, I hate the government. Like, I hate them. Like, I hate the government. They're so incompetent. But I will say this is what God allowed me to do. He did 2 things, and I know this is going to sound crazy to your audience, but I'm 57, so I went back into a young man's world with 20s and 30s, and I was physically fighting with 20-year-olds every single day, getting in car chases, car wrecks, physical altercations every day, and I was able, to do something a lot of men aren't able to do. A lot of men aren't able to go back into a profession of when you were a young man and test it. Do you still have it? Are you still a savage? Will you react in that way that needs you to be successful? And I was, and I'm very proud of that. And I know it sounds ridiculous and it's outside of anything that we really need to talk about, but me as a man, it made me, I got to test my mettle again, and made me understand that when this world goes kinetic, and it will go kinetic in America soon, I'm going to be able to do not just good, I'm going to be great at it. And the other part of it, God allowed me to see the inner workings of ICE. Even though I had inner workings of ICE prior to Joe Biden on my task forces that I ran, ICE officers, deportation officers, etc., worked under my supervision. So I knew it. But by going inside now, I got to see exactly what's going on. And I want to tell your audience, in Canada, and the Americans watching, there are no mass deportations. There are none. It's a lie. It is ineffective. It's ineffective. It is a boondoggle. And there are no, Donald Trump knows that. There is no infrastructure for mass deportations. This has been a propaganda lie. That's not saying that the guys I worked with are excellent, like extremely professional, extremely high integrity, high morals, high technical ability, knowing the law inside and out, incredible workers. There's just not enough of them, and there's no infrastructure in place to help them be successful.
Okay, I want to address one thing that you said right off the bat, and that was that you wanted to test your manhood, essentially, and I think I think there's a lot of us that want that. We want to be able to make sure that we are at the stage that we want to be at. And so that was, obviously a great opportunity for you to put yourself back into that and say, I can still do this. I can do this. I can handle it. And I am, where I want to be as a man. And that's not crazy at all. I mean, if any loony lefties or, lunatic Marxists jump on here, they'll be, yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe that you would want to be that. You don't want to have purple hair and have 17 earrings, hanging out of your nose and your eyelids. I mean, that's being a man today, right? But no, I truly get it. I you and I are both the same age, and I did that test, when I turned 50, because you feel like you want to make sure that you're still, there. You want to make sure that you still have what you had in your 20s, or at least a portion of it. But let's move on. Let's talk about the border. What's going on? You've broken some ground here for a lot of the listeners, saying that this is ineffective. There is no mass deportations. You and I mentioned, sort of talked about this off camera before this interview, where you said that it really just was Swiss cheese, I guess, is probably one of the analogies that I would use. There's no backbone. There's no. Tell us what you feel is the lacking in this, and you're saying that it's propaganda, so they know that it's not happening.
Right. Well, let's start at the very beginning of how it's going to fail. Right. And I said this, just so your audience, this guy's now he's the black pillar. No. I said this. If you go back and look at the stuff I've written on Substack or the interviews I've given, I've said this from the very beginning. I love Tom Homan. I think he's a great patriot. But what they created, the plan, whatever that is, I knew it wasn't going to work because it was a numbers game. And I knew that you couldn't get mass deportations because you don't have the officers. And the way you created this system is never going to work. But I knew it was never going to work from the beginning for this reason. The same people that are in positions of authority and power in the Border Patrol and in ICE are the same power structure that conducted themselves unconstitutionally under Joe Biden. So those same men that allowed the open borders to continue the release of 30 million people into America, those are the same people that are in charge of deportations. Now, do you think that's actually going to happen? The answer is no. And then when I got inside of ICE, and let me just also, as a caveat, I have several connections of people like myself up in DC and in field offices across America that have reached out to me once I was able to talk about this, and prior were saying, I'm seeing, I'm witnessing, the frustrations are shared. Everything you're saying is happening in Dallas, is happening in California, is happening in Colorado, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing, and that is there's no infrastructure. For example, in my old job in the Border Patrol, comparable to a field office in XYZ America, if you had 100 officers, well, you needed a command structure of one at the top, 2 assistants, 3, that's the third line supervision. You need 3 lieutenants, which we call watch commanders. You need 10 first line supervisors, and you would need that power structure to command 100 officers. Well, in current there's like 2 or 3 supervisors and no second, third, or fourth line supervision. There's no one there. There's
You're
no
talking
one there.
You're talking 40 people to one supervisor, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So
we know that command structure doesn't work. I mean, you have to have it smaller.
Well, who's going to drive the mission? So let's take it out of law enforcement, which is very mission driven, and it has to have heavy supervision because of the nature of the business. We're not just arresting people.
Mhm.
That's bad enough, right? We're arresting people, then deporting them, right?
Mhm.
So you need incredible supervisors in a highly, highly volatile world, and they're not there. They're just physically no one there to do the job because ICE was never built to do what ICE is doing now. Let me give you an example. It's an administrative arm. It's the deportation arm, going through the court system and all that, and then put them on planes and flying them out. If you have a 100-man office, less than 30 people are out in the field.
Right.
So so maybe this is the best way to prove my point in a non in the weeds. Let's just take data. So last year, United States DHS deported 400,000-ish people, little less than 400,000. That's about 1,000 a day. Okay. So let's break down that 1,000 a day. That means there's 50 states in America. That means only 20 people a day are arrested in each state.
Right.
20.
Yeah.
20.
The bucket.
It's not even a drip. A faucet's not even dripping. At the same time, Bruce, America gives out 55 million visas to foreign nationals. The government states that 2% of them overstay. I believe that's a lie, but let's just go off it. 2%. That's 800,000 illegal aliens every year. Minus the 400, we are still a net positive of 400,000 illegal aliens in America.
Right.
And I'm not even talking about your border that we share that's basically wide open, or the southern border that's being tightly contained. They're still gotaways. So we're looking at easily 1 million, 2 million illegal aliens every single year are in America. On top of what we are, quote, mass deportating. We're not mass deportating. I did a 5-part series on my Substack where I said this is what has to happen. And what has to happen, what should have happened day one, is there should have been a department created outside of DHS that had no connection with DHS because DHS is corrupt. And it had a main line, meaning you had your direct line was the President of the United States. You would have 50 substations within the Department of Deportation, and that within the Department of Deportation, you would have the U.S. military logistically for protection, for also cross designation, and for all deportations, meaning C-130s flying out. Yeah. And then Donald Trump should have gone the day one and said, this is executive order. This is a national security. All of you judges, all of you, everyone, thank you for your opinions, but stick it up your ass. We're not going to listen to you, and we're going to deport. And before people say, well, you can't do that. Well, yes, we can, because there's precedent. The great President Andrew Jackson did that when the courts told him, the Supreme Court said to Andrew Jackson, you have to give back the entire state of Georgia back to the Cherokees. And history says that Andrew Jackson said, oh, really? Well, who's going to enforce it? Meaning I'm the commander in chief. You're a bunch of people in black robes. You're soft. You're impotent. What can you do? You can do nothing. So the president has executive authority, and we are now a national security issue, and we don't have national. And why is this important? Ultimately, why? Because we have a demographic time bomb exploding in America. We have over 50 million illegal aliens. We have over 100 million foreigners living in our country, and they're having babies at a 5 to 10 times the rate of our women. We are going to lose. We're being demographically destroyed, just like you have a massive, massive Chinese and Indian problem in your country. We have that times 10, times 1,000 here in America.
100%. This is an invasion. We saw it. I wanted to sort of just touch on these things, but the ultimate in that was Ceuta, which is that Spanish province on the continent of Africa that was overrun just a few days ago. And we all saw the footage, and I probably don't need to play it because I think it's pretty obvious. We've all seen it of, 50, 80, 100,000 military age young men climbing fences, coming over the border, coming into off the shore on boats, whatever it was. That, some people are saying, oh, well, they just got the message that they were going to be able to have citizenship. But I'm like, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. This is orchestrated. This is obviously planned. It's planned to overwhelm, to overrun, and obviously the pictures were there to make people fearful.
Yep.
Obviously, make them afraid, and to make them feel like there's nothing that they can do, right? Because it's just going to happen, and you have to allow it to happen, and you have to allow this to happen to your country, and you can't say anything about it because, as I said in my intro, I mean, here in Alberta, Edmonton, the police have now made it their job to police hate speech. They called it. I'm just going to look for something here, but the insanity is that they actually took down their post where they were saying that they were going to. Hang on one second. I'm just going to see if I can see it here. I'm going to show you this. 1 minute. This is from Edmonton. You can see this plastered on the side of a bus. QR code, see hate, report hate. And they're looking to obviously arrest the dissidents, anybody that harms our newly populated invaders, I guess.
Yeah, but don't you see that and I know you do, we're being replaced, Bruce.
Yeah.
We're just being replaced. But this is what makes it the most maddening to me. And I think this is for everyone and throughout history, mankind. Who is the most hated group of people? It's not the invaders. It's the traitors that work with the other side. Mm-hmm. And that's what's driving me crazy, or once I want justice, is I'm looking at all the white, quote, white elite Americans turning on white America, right, and allowing all these people to come into our country. Look, all the way up to 1970s, we're 90% white in America. It's not 700 years ago. We're like 60, 50, less than 60 years ago, we were 90% white. We were 75% white all the way up to 2010. So the last 15 years, we have been demographically destroyed. Now, I didn't vote for that. In fact, the law says that we can only immigrate 1.2 million, which I think is a boondoggle. 1.2 million people get to come into my country every year. Are you out of your mind? But that's what we voted on. So, okay, until we unvote that way, then that's the law. But you ignored the law. No one said that you could do this, but you did it. Why? Because you hate America, and you hate Canada, and you hate the Western white world. And if you think that that's absurd, I think you're a fool. Look what's happened to Europe. Europe is dead. It's dead. The only way they're getting out of it is the only way America is going to get out of it, and that's a kinetic war to eradicate our nations of these third world intellectually deficient people.
Have you seen? You've seen this, Restore Britain. What's coming out with Rupert Lowe?
Some of them are.
I am loving it because he's he's not apologetic whatsoever. He's saying this is what we have to do, and they're putting down a plan. Obviously, they have to get into power, but I'm just bringing it up because this is. I don't see a plan here in Canada. I don't see any way out of what's going to happen with Ottawa. Our only saving grace is in Alberta, and this is why we want to cede Canada, is that secede from Canada is that we could hold our, our Canadian, the Canadian isms that we are within this border only, because the rest of the Canada seems to be, completely down the drain and have lost the plot, as far as I can tell. Our only option is to sort of put up border walls here in Alberta and say, okay, well, we're not going to follow this trajectory into the hellhole that we've seen Europe fall into. I don't know. What do you have to say about what are your thoughts on that? Any of that?
I think it's happening across the globe. Mm-hmm. Meaning, I believe any nation that is a white dominated Christian nation has been invaded. And look, those people that came across in Spain, I bet if you took their collective IQ, it's about 70, 75, 80 max.
Right.
They're being told what to do. They're coming over. They're raping and pillaging Spain. Spain's gutless. The people are going to have to fight to get their country back. I believe the same thing's happening in Canada. I think you're talking about secession. You're talking about segregation. You're talking about balkanization. That's going to happen in America. People that are like me look down the road and say, you're going to see the balkanization of America. We're already starting to see the separation from black and whites don't want to be anywhere near each other. The black population is highly, highly violent and are killing and raping whites at an unprecedented level. So you're seeing that on that. You're seeing the tens of millions of illegal aliens building enclaves within our communities, and people are leaving because no one wants to sit around a bunch of Indians that are praying to their pagan gods and washing themselves in our rivers and lakes.
Oh my God!
So we're at our wits' end. However, because of you don't show hate, see hate, report it. If we say anything here, you're a racist, you're a xenophobe. The only difference between us and say you right now and say what's happening in Britain is there's the sleeping giant, which is what the term is, white dormancy. The white giant is waking up. Will it wake up in time? I don't know, but it is waking up and it's saying, wait a minute. We don't want any of this stuff. We don't want these third world subhuman people coming into our country. And before people say, well, that's a kind of a racist thing to say, what do you call people that mutilate their girls, that don't let their girls go to grammar school, cover their women in curtains, and then beat the crap out of their women? You want that in our country? You want people that believe that Jesus Christ is not the savior? He's just some whatever, the best. He's a prophet. The worst, he's rotten in hell, and the Virgin Mary's a whore. Or you're an Indian and you believe in all your pagan elephants and all that. No, I don't want that in my country. I didn't vote for that. I want my country to be a white Christian European nation. That's what I want. That's what we were founded on. That's our Constitution. And if you go back and you really read the Constitution and you really read the papers attached to the Constitution, our founding fathers would never, ever agree to this country. Never. And I am a constitutionalist. I'm no longer a Republic. I think Donald Trump is a failure. I think Donald Trump is compromised. The Republican Party is no different than the Democrats. And people like myself believe that the whole system has to be reworked, or that's a kind way of saying not to tear it down. And I think that's the only way. And I think Europe is experiencing that in real time.
100%. 100%. We've got to, we've got to wake up, first of all, but that's what we keep trying to do. But I don't think that it's really going anywhere because this brainwashing has really, really taken hold. You're seeing it, obviously, in the United States. I'm seeing it it's obliterated Canada. And, the people still not waking up. Fauci should have woken up a lot of people. And I think it is. I mean, I don't know if it's gotten the teeth that it needs to, but this, pleading the fifth for Anthony Fauci just was a wake-up call for me, and I'm sure many, many millions of other people. I'm seeing it across X, but sometimes, you wonder if you're just in a silo of people
Right.
saying the same thing over and over again, and you're like, oh, well, there's a lot of people that agree with me. Well, the algorithm is telling you, is obviously giving you the same bullshit once and over and over again, right? But let's hope that's maybe a trigger. I don't know. But I want to change gears because I want to get into Agent Carrell.
Oh boy.
This is a real experiment in humanity. Do you want to just sort of give us a premise of what you are experiencing through this process? And I'm going to bring it up here in a second. So.
Okay, I created a new channel on YouTube called Agent Carrell, and what I do is I go through body cam footage of simple arrest. Like there's no such thing as a simple arrest, but you know what I mean. Like quote a normal. There's no normal arrest either, but a normal day in the life of a police officer pulling someone over, drunk driving, dealing with maybe a murder or something, and going through the body cam and trying to not critique, but just kind of bring an audience that may be a civilian and doesn't understand police work, and try to walk us through. Like it's just a 15-minute clip of a simple arrest that turns into violent altercation, and we just walk through it. I give you my commentary. It's I like to hear your feedback, Bruce, but I think it's a very fast videos where it's not me sitting there pontificating. It's just real quick analysis, and we move through it. And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to watch and I think it's a great way to show the average American or maybe average Canadian as well that, dear God, this is what you do. This is what police have to deal with, because most of us are very normal people, meaning if we saw a police officer, they stopped us, we would be polite, we would be kind, we would be a little nervous. No. The police officers, I need to show you what they're dealing with. They're dealing with savages, savages, people that are cursing, screaming, spitting, biting them, trying to punch them, trying to kill them. And you're like, oh my God, well, that's his first 30 minutes on the job. He still has another 9, 10, 12 hours to go. What the hell is he going to get into? So that's my new YouTube on Agent Carrell. I like it. It's growing.
I think it's great. I have I've taken it all in, JJ. I've taken it all in. I've gone through all of them. Even though like I said to you before we hit record, some of it feels like nails on the chalkboard, and like I have to turn away sometimes. But it's like a train wreck, right? I guess, you want to watch the train wreck because of the I guess the cataclysmic effect, or you have to see how this train wreck gets resolved or whatever. But I'm going to pull up one of them here, and then maybe we can talk. These first images really are they're not
sensationalized. They're reality.
They're not sensationalized. This is the real deal here.
Yeah.
I got to bring this up.
How about the car? Yeah, 499. Think I'd use I catch one of y'all ass, I'm fucking y'all up. I see y'all with y'all kids, I'm fucking them up.
Welcome back to Agent Carrell. We are now in Orland Park. It's a suburb outside of the great city of Chicago. And whenever we get someone from Chicago that is arrested, we all get a lesson in proper English. Today, in a traffic stop, a vehicle that's tied to multiple frauds spirals out of control when the suspect, as always, is placed in handcuffs for massive paper trail of fake IDs, stolen credit cards in his wallet. But as everybody knows from watching this show, these people always double down and they just exasperate the situation. So he gets in the back of the squad car and he starts to threaten law enforcement and try to break out the windows. Sit back and enjoy another episode of Insanity.
All right. I just want to say,
I think that's a good intro. Do you?
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. I wanted to say, because you had mentioned before I hit play, was that, as regular everyday citizens, we, for the most of us, right, we would be polite. And if you pulled us over, we would be apologetic, and we'd probably be scared, right?
Yeah.
And we would probably listen to what the person was saying, as opposed to what a lot of these characters get into. And I thought this way. I got to just say, this guy, I thought, was not necessarily the epitome, but I mean, he was like 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Soaking wet. He was a rag doll, and his hair probably weighed more than the rest of his body. But he was really, really tough in the back of the car. I thought it was hilarious to watch, and oh my God, I can't believe what these cops have to go through. But do you want to watch it? Should we watch a little bit more of it?
Yeah, sure. If you want to see the morality crash of the United States of America, yeah, let's see it.
Okay, let's just watch a little bit, and then we'll have you give us a little bit of perspective.
Hey, police! Police department. Hey, boss, hop out of the car. Hop out of the car. Come over here. What's your name, boss?
Jamel.
Come on here. Do you have any ID in your butt?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Come on.
No, don't reach in the car. Where is it?
It's in my car.
Okay, stop right here. Are you the registered owner of this car?
No.
Who's the registered owner of this car?
My brother. That's my car? Why is that?
Okay, yeah, that's the car was involved in the crime.
What's your name? My name's Jamel. What's your birthday? This car was used on what crime?
I just love his face. I mean, to me, it tells everything. The first thing he's looking at, you're like, yeah, what? And he wasn't honest. Like, his face was like, no, I'm totally guilty. I'm totally guilty. I know that this is a drug car or fake ID car, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. But he was totally guilty the way he was looking at the cop.
No, I know. And it's all the telltale signs, right? Like, you and I get pulled over, and number one, we don't jump out of our car, right? We kind of sit there, but he jumps out. And then when you see, if you and I were there and we saw, like, this is obviously a task force, and the task force is surrounding my car, I'm thinking, what in God's name? The first question I would ask is, what's going on, officer? Is everything okay? Like, holy cow. Like, I know I don't do drugs. I don't smoke or drink. I'm straight up. So my first question would be, sir, what's going on? Like, no, it's just like, yeah, they're so conditioned to behave like this because they're career criminals.
Right.
So they've been through this so many times. That's why you see that nonchalant, or you see that hyper aggressive, because that's their card. That's how they've been trained, either very, very nonchalant or kind of authoritative back to you, or they're hyper aggressive.
One of the things I want to ask you about that I noticed, and I think you pointed out a number of times, is that it seems obvious that their criminality or their guilt, when they double down, when they become angry at the questioning. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Well,
because you would see this obviously for many years that you were doing it. You could see this trend, right?
It's interesting. It's human nature, right? So they're predictives. They do certain things over and over again. You and I do certain things over and over again that we're not aware of. That's just built into our DNA. So when you have a criminal that does criminal crimes constantly, they have certain things, and one of the things is to constantly debate, right? Mm-hmm. Constantly argue when they come out, constantly be aggressive and double down, because they know that's their only get out of jail card. And the reason why they're using it is because they got out of jail before doing it. They've hoodwinked a law enforcement officer, which has happened to all of us. We've let people go that we come to find out, damn it, that was a real criminal. And it's what I love about Agent Carrell is it gives the audience an understanding of what it's like to be a police officer. You're not dealing with people like Bruce and JJ. You're dealing with people that are missing teeth, that are high on drugs, that are out of their mind, like having mental issues. Yeah. And you're dealing with this, and you're trying to trying to have a rational conversation, meaning I need you to do this and I need you to do that, with someone that is absolutely irrational, and then it always goes sideways. And I think maybe that's the thing that I'm showing, is that the idea that police are bad is so horrible. The police are doing their best they can in the worst situations multiple times a day. Like, you're watching this and going, God, this would be horrible if I had to deal with this one time in my life. Now imagine that those officers are going to deal with Jamal and people like Jamal 7, 10, 15, 20 times in one shift.
Right.
Compounded over decades. And then you wonder why police officers die, commit suicide, die of heart attacks the moment they retire. This is why.
I want to ask you about this, just in regard to policing in general. When you say, obviously you have to deal with this person, and then you're going to have to deal with another Jamal, and you're going to have to deal with another person like this. When the ones that I've talked to, when they get into policing, they have this belief that they're going to be helping people. Is that part of it too? Is that it's really not what a lot of people think that policing is?
Yeah, police, it's all changed. So let's just take it from from on the ground. Decades ago, police officers, when a police officer is walking down the street, like the sidewalk, you would get out of his way. Now, I think I might challenge that police officer. Hell, I might punch him. Hell, I might just walk up to a squad car and shoot him in the back of his head. That's why you see cops are constantly looking over constantly looking around, because we've devolved as a society where you have Ferguson, you have George Floyd, you have all of this crazy shit that's happened in America. And they said cops are bad. Defund the police. I love that. Defund the police. Cops are bad. And guess what happened when we defunded the police? The major cities erupted in crime because there was no one to maintain order. And for your audience to understand the dire straits of law enforcement in America, 2018, that's 7-8 years ago. 2018, there was 1.2 million law enforcement officers, state, local, and federal, in America. There's around less than 700 now.
Wow.
700,000.
Yeah.
So we're almost half where we were. So,
wow.
And then you understand that law enforcement is 24 hours a day. So now you're breaking down into shifts, and guys can't work 7 days a week. So they have days off. They have annual leave. They have court. They have training. So now you take that 700,000 and then you decrease that minimum by 60%. So now you're down to what? Now you're down to 300,000 spread across 50 states. And that's just one shift, right? So now I got to break it down even more. So, like, I'll give you an example. There's a small town between Kansas City, Kansas, and a big suburb called Overland Park. It has about 250,000 people. Kansas has probably 1 million, right? Between that, there's this place. It's like a no man's land, but those people that live in Overland Park and those people that live in Kansas City traverse this. So you have about 1 million people traversing this one community every single day, all day. And I remember doing in ICE, working with that police department. I said, hey, just out of curiosity, how many officers do you have on duty? Because they were helping us with taking down a house. And they said, well, about 6. And I was like, you have about 1 million people right now in your community. Yeah, 6 officers.
Wow.
So my statement to Americans is nobody's coming to help you. Not because they don't want to, is there's not enough of us. No one's coming to help you. That's why you need to be carrying a weapon. That's why you need to have defensive tactic training. That's why you have to begin to go through scenarios in your life. I know no one wants to do it. Hell, I don't want to do it. I'm a cop. But there are small things that you can do, like when you drive up to a 7-Eleven, I'm guilty of this, or a Quick Stop, or whatever you call in Canada a convenience store. When you drive up, don't jump out of your car. When you go into your Kroger's or your grocery store, don't jump out of your car. Park your car and sit there just for 30 seconds, not 3 hours, 30 seconds, and just sit there and look around. Are there any weird things happening? And you don't have to be a A psychic, you just look at things and your gut says, that's weird. When your gut says that's weird, understand that it's weird. It's not, that's not natural. Why is that happening? And if you get those feelings, or you look into a convenience store, usually has pane glass, look in there, and I see five or 10 people. Why is 5 or 10 people moving around? No one's buying anything. They're all the same. They all look the same. Well, maybe I need to go to another convenience store, right? And I think simple things like that, and we call it now the non-racial thing to say now. The PC thing is to say, I have recognized patterns. If certain humans continue, certain groups of humans continue certain patterns, it behooves you to recognize those patterns. And if you don't want to recognize those patterns and then you get raped and killed or assaulted, that's on you, because number one, you're stupid. Number two, you think that all people are good and God created all these wonderful people. God created all these wonderful people. They chose to be fallen. And if you think this has been an internal battle, I'd love to hear what you think. This has been an internal battle for me for decades being in law enforcement. Are people good or are people bad? And I have come to the conclusion that people are bad. And a lot of people go, that's a hard way to live a life. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's a horrible way to think. But my experience proves that in stressful situations, the best people will be bad. And here's a great example. How many people in the world during COVID, how many of, quote, the good people demanded you lose your job, demanded you be ostracized, demanded you be thrown in jail for not getting shots? So that proves my point. I don't trust people in law enforcement. Have an inability to truly trust anyone, to be quite honest.
100%. You're absolutely right. I want to break just for a second, because this is the perfect timing. I have to bring something forward, and excuse me, audience, you'll appreciate why I'm bringing this up right now. But this is our option here in Canada. This is a non-lethal or less lethal option, and it's available here in Western Canada. And my guy is Roger in Southern Alberta. Give him a call if you're looking for the Byrna, which is less lethal option. You can get this at 403-466-2602. We're talking about protection. We're talking about self-defense. And this is one of the things that we can actually do here in Canada. So
what does that do, guys, Bruce?
Well, it's a non-lethal weapon that can offer. I mean, there's pepper balls that they can shoot.
Right.
It's essentially like a paintball gun. And
so
it's an American company.
Does it? What does the impact do to you? Like, what is the?
Well, you should
comparison?
Tell me, because I don't know. But as far as I know, that it's going to obviously give this person a shocking awakening that that they're not welcome in your home.
So are the projectiles, are they soft, meaning they'll explode like a paintball, or are they hard pellet like a hard plastic?
You have a couple of different options. I think one of them is like I said, they have pepper balls that you can get, but they are rounds like that so that they can that they can break apart.
Yeah, it looks like a gun. So if you shot somebody with that and it was a hard enough impact, it might just scare them to think they've been shot, right? To give you enough time to space to get away.
Here in Canada, that's what we would hope for, because we don't have an option. We don't have an option to protect ourselves even. We're not allowed to. Like if somebody breaks into your house outside of Alberta, JJ, in case, most of the people that are watching are probably Canadian, and they already understand this. If somebody breaks into your house and you hurt them, you're going to jail, not the criminal.
You have a beautiful country, beautiful, but you are run by morons. And we are too. We're run by morons. Yeah. But at least we have the Second Amendment, and our Second Amendment is very, very detailed, meaning it's clear cut. I can have whatever the hell I want to have. Right. And if you come into my house, I'm plinking you. And I traveled to see a niece got married like 5 states away, and we decided to drive. I'm carrying. So I get stopped or my car breaks down and somebody rolls up on me and they try to take whatever, my wife, my son, they're getting one right in the skull. And that's America. And that is the only saving grace in America is everyone like me is holding on to hope for America is in order to really take us over, you have to take away all of our weapons.
Well,
and it's not going to happen.
That is why they're trying to take down the United States, because it's the only thing in the way of this one world government. Whether you believe that or not, that is the purpose. The United States is in the way of this 100% control over the people, social credit system, all of the crap that you don't want to be a part of. They're going to control our food. I mean, that is definitely in the works here in Canada as well. They want to control the food. So if you control the food, you control the people. Anyway, JJ, I got off track. I know that we got a little bit off track, but I wanted to, focus a bit more on your channel. I'm going to show just a bit of this crazy interaction, if you don't mind, before we end off.
Sure, absolutely. Lawsuits, all while filming on their phones. By the end, what could have been a simple citation turns into a violent struggle, damaged police property, and a laundry list of federal charges. Oh boy, let's dive right into it.
Ma'am, come with me. Come with me. Where's the other one you're with?
Who?
The other woman you're with.
Nobody's with me.
You're by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
I'm going to skip ahead because it gets really good here.
See the look? Did you see the look on the girl with the long hair? Gave her a look like, oh, I can't believe you just said that out loud. So the lady in the purple hair, the obese lady with the purple hair, they're friends. They're working in tandem. She already lied saying she knows her, and she doesn't. All the police know. Now it's just, that was a verbal kind of back and forth in order to get into her bag and produce what's stolen. And they're going to do a little verbal judo. They're going to allow the two very savage ex-girls to go crazy. All the while they're going to nail them because they're shoplifters. It's obvious.
Oh, I came here by myself. Why
I'm
are
not
you keep
talking
asking
to
me
you.
questions?
I'm not
Stop
talking
asking me
to you.
questions.
Do you know her? Well, you
Stop asking me questions. Stop asking questions. You can't. You're a cop. You can't answer questions.
I know.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Let's see it.
Okay.
You just told me you did inside, so you're lying. Do you have your ID on you?
No.
You don't have ID on you? Okay.
Not showing no ID.
Well, it's gonna be an issue if that's the case.
I ain't showing.
So you can come back to headquarters and I'll fingerprint you and find out who you are. Okay.
You can bring up
So,
whatever you want.
all right, so
but
we're-
that don't mean
all right,
nobody
everyone-
ain't gonna
every-
pop
so
up
we're-
'cause they not even in the.
Sorry, what language is she speaking?
We have no idea in America. We have none. And this is, I mean, it's funny, right? But at the same time, it's sad. You're like,
It's
God
sad.
dang. But this is also policing, where I talk about policing, and this is not how we do policing, right? Number one, hey, you fat broad, take your mask off.
Yeah.
I need to see your face. Hey, young girl, you're not going to curse at me anymore. Give me your phone. You're being detained. We already know that they should be detained. It's not arrest. I'm allowed to, for my protection and yours, to detain you. I can put handcuffs on you, sit you on the curb until I figure this out. I don't just let you roam around, because look where that woman is from the officer. She's a good 10, 15 feet away. That officer, maybe he's 200 pounds, has 30, 40 pounds of gear on. It's very uncomfortable to run in. She weighs about $110. She's off. She's a rabbit. Now I'm chasing her. Now maybe I trip, I fall, I break my arm. I mean, these are real life things that have to be discussed. And it's shocking when you begin to listen to the way Americans speak to law enforcement. And when that devolves, you are looking at a world that is fallen. And that's what America is. We are fallen morally.
Well, we are in the stage, if you use that analogy, that strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. We are in that weak bad times created by weak men, And I know that you and I have talked about this before, but this is where we're at, folks. We're at the where we have to pick ourselves up, where it's going to get shitty if we don't pay attention. And I think unfortunately, I think it's going to get shitty anyway, even if we are paying attention. JJ, one more thing. I'm gonna change up here and just show your website, because you're a good man doing a lot of good work, and you can find JJ Carrell here, jjcarrell.com, jjcarrell.com, and you can find out his books, and you can buy the books, you can order the books, documentaries that he's worked on and has done fantastic work. Also the JJ Carrell Show, you can actually go right to it from here. Anything else there, bud?
No, man. I just go to Agent Carrell and see the degradation of the United States of America. It's sad, but it's also a little bit entertaining. And I appreciate you giving me the wide berth to talk about these subjects. And because
I lost you there for a second there, JJ. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you just broke up there for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh,
do you want to say that again?
Yeah, I'm just saying that I appreciate you giving me this wide berth to be able to talk about things like this, and because I really believe Canada, I think the whole Western Christian world is going to have to come to Jesus moment, where we're going to say we are either going to continue down the path of immorality, of societal chaos, and the replacement of our people in our countries, or we're going to fight back. There is no gray area. We're going to live in unity. It's not going to be that way. And you have to ask yourself a quick question. Why did God create all these nations with different languages and different cultures and put people within border? Why do you think that God made a mistake and that we have to rectify his mistake and allow everyone to go everywhere to destroy all of our culture? And when did the white culture, the white Christian culture, become disposable? When did that become? Why should I have to allow my culture to be destroyed in order to bring in pagan third worlders? I don't understand it, but we are going to have to make that decision very, very shortly.
100%. You know, when people complain about this theory that we are being replaced, and they say that we should just we should be kind and we shouldn't be racist and we shouldn't be. I say, well, take your front door off because you don't deserve a front door, and see how that goes. But
while you sleep at night.
You don't deserve a front door. You don't deserve a back door. You should just be sitting there with allow people to come in and make themselves at home in your house and help themselves to your food in your fridge and your family. Whatever is yours is theirs. Yeah. And see how that works for you, because I'm sure you'll get a rude awakening and realize that that's not the way that you want to live. I don't want to live that way, JJ, and I know that you don't either.
No, I don't.
So I appreciate you and your time and your show. I love it. Let's keep going, man. That's great.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, brother. Talk to you soon.
Okay. God bless everyone. Thank you very much for being here. If you are still watching, make sure to share this out. Get some more eyeballs on this information. We have got to wake up, Canadians and Americans alike. So I appreciate you. As I always say, let's keep our head on a swivel and let's stay sane together. This is Bruce, and I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.